pleasant good evening from a warm Wisconsin, where it is Henny Derby night in Madtown. Forward Madison hosts Richmond Kickers in the 20th edition of the league's banner rivalry, and tonight's match is presented by Dairyland Insurance. We say hello from Bree Stevens Field. I'm Sam Goldfarb. And this is a rivalry that is closely contested. Madison with the slight upper hand in the previous 19 Henny Derbies, but 17 of those fixtures decided by a goal or less. These matches are always wars. Both coaches mentioned that to us in the lead up to this fixture. They understand there are so fine margins in this rivalry, and Madison is hoping to build on their victory in last season's season series a year ago. And for Forward Madison entering tonight, they are flying. 4 wins in the last 5 across all comps, no defeats in that span, and the goals have picked up. Early in the season, known for their defensive solidity, now they've picked up the goal scoring in the attacking third, despite being a little banged up across the board. This side doubling up their opponents in goals over the course of this unbeaten run, and Ryan Carmichael has been one of the stars tonight. He is our player of the watch entering the evening, enters the night with just 3 league goals, but has produced goal contributions in 4 of the last 5 across all competitions. Someone who's very versatile, and Matt Glazer raves about his IQ, says they can play him in a lot of different spots on the pitch because of that. On the opposite end of things, this is a Richmond kicker squad that has struggled of late, and defensively in particular has been the biggest problem during this winless rut. They've conceded the 2nd most goals in the box in the league, and Brian Ownby, the interim head coach, has discussed how they're switching off too much on crosses, not getting balls clear. That's been the primary point of emphasis for them since he took the job about a month ago, and he's mentioned that that needs to get better if they are to start to string some results together. Now, defensively, they have had their woes. Attacking-wise as well, they've struggled with the least goals in the league, but Darwin Espinal back in the fold, returning from a 2-match absence as a substitute on Saturday night in their Prince Tires USL Cup finale, and someone who is a dynamo. He scored in this fixture before, also paces the team in assists. Well, we are just about set for the 20th edition of the Henny Derby, and the first of 2 meetings this year between Richmond Kickers and Forward Madison. Stick with us, lineups and kickoff, when we return after this short break.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget. And 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Kick your excitement into high gear with the Nissan Kicks. Zimbrick Nissan. Find more kicks to choose from. Zimbrick Nissan. From people who know kicks inside and out. Zimbrick Nissan at the best kicks price. Zimbrick Nissan. Save more and shop more selection at Zimbrick Nissan, Madison's favorite Nissan dealer. Get it kicked with Nissan Safety Shield 360 and intelligent all-wheel drive. At Zimbrick Eastside off High Crossing, Best of Madison and People's Choice winner 2024.
We welcome you back to Madison here on Henny Derby night, where it is time for the first of two meetings this season between Ford Madison and Richmond Kickers. Yet another season of Henny Derby fixtures getting underway in a matter of moments. And now it is time for our starting lineup, starting with Matt Glazer's 11. He makes one change from their last league match on July 1st, and it is a similar 11 as well to the one that came out on Saturday. Stephen Enorgiampi partnered by Josh Bolma and Ryan Carmichael up top. Kupala Toure is the captain here this evening, with JT Harms anchoring things between the sticks. Meanwhile, for Richmond Kickers, Brian Ownby continues to trot out his 3-4-3 setup. He has pivoted to this since taking over the interim head coaching role a month ago. Sean Vinberg is the anchor in the heart of defense. Meanwhile, Darwin Espinal returns to the 11 after his injury absence in late June and early July. Daniel Moore once again starts at left back. It is a rare start for him. Just about ready to get another edition of the Henny Derby underway. Richmond and Madison, the league's longest rivalry, getting set, and we are underway. Ruse going from left to right on your screen. Madison going from left to right. And Tarek Panholzer getting on it early on. Slips in Josh Kirkland, and the effort deflected back to JT Harms. It is a fast start to this rivalry fixture. Well, Ford Madison, we mentioned that form off the top. A side that had been through their ups and downs throughout the first 2.5 months of the season. But of late, unbeaten in their last 5. The goals have started to fly in, and they've done this the last few matches without Derek Gebhardt, who suffered injury in the first half of the New York Cosmos fixture. Still have managed 5 in the last 2. Glazer's mentioned he's happy with how his side is pressing and just taking chances far better in an expanded run of fixtures on home soil. It's the first touch of the match from Bolma, who looks wide for Kenny Kanyane. An all-action wing back. Now Bolma again. It's a Madison side that has looked to be more expansive and more ball dominant since opening up their home slate in early May. Under Matt Glazer. Early in the season, a prolonged run of fixtures on the road, so they prioritized their defensive solidity and focused on set pieces and sporadic chances where they could get forward. Now, since opening up their league home slate against Corpus Christi on May 29th, you've seen them play a more assertive style, and the goals have followed suit. This is played down the line for Ryan Carmichael, and Beckett Howell is there to disrupt. Well, fans, tonight's injury report is presented by UW Health Sports Medicine. 3 out for Madison. 2 big attacking presences in Claudel and Gubu and Derek Gebhardt. Meanwhile, Soifert and Sasanka remain out for Brian Ownby. It is a Richmond side that has been a fair bit banged up going forward, so the onus falls on the likes of Kirkland, Espinal, and Panholzer to pick up the slack. A long throw opportunity here for Madison early on. This arcs into the mix. Dashed away by Espinal. Bolma. Dispossessed on the near side by Owen O'Malley, who blasts it forward. Kirkland is a few footsteps off that. McCamey. Kanyane. On the other end of things for Richmond, it's a squad that started the season decently enough, but since managing 4 points in the opening 2 matches of the year, they have really sputtered. 8 matches in the fixtures that have followed that, and it has made for a rocky go of it. 7 winless, in league play, and just snapped a 9-match winless run on Saturday in their Prince Tires USL Cup finale against Greenville Triumph. That the first win under Brian Ownby's tutelage. And he mentioned it's a big moment for them, even though it came in the Cup. Entering last week, he said he wanted the 7 days that followed to be what he called a 9-point week, to revitalize their season and power them into the playoff conversation. Gotten 3 of those, but now this is the big one. Away from home, a midweek at Bree Stevens. Can they get their first victory here since October of 2022. Castro slips this inside to Bulma, who is onside. Bulma pokes it across. Doesn't quite reach Inorgianfi. It was a necessary defensive intervention. A real chance there early on for Madison. Get another look at it. Castro, the progressive ball forward. Bulma rounds Filione, but takes a touch too wide, and it is the clearance of Sean Vinberg that makes the difference. There's an early statement of intent from a Madison side that is looking to play more front-footed at home. Now Carmichael. It's deflected. And the first corner kick of the match, which is presented by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management is donating $50 to Forward Madison FC's mini pitch fundraising project for each home corner kick taken by FMFC. It is Geni Kanyane who currently stands over this. Madison squad with considerable height, especially on the back line. Trio of 6-foot-plus presences in McCamey Toure and Kevin Carmichael. Kanyane with in swing. It's toward the near post. Cleared away as far as Toure. And Castro's ball in. Back to Filione. Well, fans, tonight's keys to the match are presented by the Burish Group at UBS. For Madison, being the protagonist is crucial. We mentioned they opened the year more defensive-minded, and Matt Glazer has mentioned at home they want to be more expansive and assertive. Meanwhile, for Richmond kickers, effective counterattacks are critical. Since shifting to Brian Ownby's three-back system, the onus has been on being a little more direct and providing that width on the break in the form of Muji Murana and Daniel Moore. And they will prioritize playing direct and kick-starting breaks, especially when they are under it for larger spells. A fixture like this, one chance can make the difference, and Richmond hopes the counterattack can spawn that one chance of note. That have just joined us, we welcome you to Bree Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin. First of two Henny Derbies this season between Forward Madison and Richmond kickers. It's a Madison side that has won 10 of the previous 19, but as we spotlighted off the top, this Henny Derby fixture, always contentious. In fact, one of the two fixtures to be decided by more than a goal was actually the last meeting on the final day. And even though Forward Madison won the season series a year ago and took the opening two meetings, on the final day of the season, they fell by a 5-1 scoreline in Richmond. Not a fixture that cost Madison a possible playoff berth on the final day of the year. So he's really talking to Richmond. It is Dakota Barnathan being castigated by our official. It was Vinberg who was clattered into by Stephen Inorgianfi, and Barnathan immediately threw himself into the mix. Shove from O'Malley after the fact was an extracurricular that I'm sure our referee, Ladi Isaka, did not appreciate. Kirkland dispossessed on that occasion. Stephen Inorgianfi, the team's current leader with 4 goals in league play. When Joma strolling forward on the right-hand side. Carmichael. Cross comes in, and it is collected by Jan Filione, the league's leader, in saves with 50. He's an experienced presence, the native of Ottawa, Canada. 50 saves to his name this year. Last couple seasons had James Sneddon as their go-to between the sticks, a product of Richmond United, who initially joined the club on a USL Academy contract. But last season, sometimes the youth of Sneddon, who was then a 19-year-old, showed itself in key moments. And so they made a concerted effort to bring in a little more experience this offseason. Jan Filion, one of those new additions who is still in the prime of his career at 30 years of age, has played anywhere from the Canadian Premier League to the Maltese top flight. This year, despite the fact that he has been peppered frequently and Richmond has conceded a fair few goals, his efforts have kept them in matches. So you see an early chance on for Madison here. Bulma was dispossessed. Snatched back by McCamey though. And this is Jackson Castro. Bulma on the turn. Lost his footing. And a rather anticlimactic end to that sequence. Fans, this message is brought to you by TrueStage. TrueStage offers insurance and financial services built to support life's many stages, whether it's protecting today, planning for tomorrow, or preparing for what's ahead. TrueStage helps people move forward with confidence. Learn more about insurance and financial solutions designed for real life at TrueStage.com. Then upended there, and a chance for Richmond to alleviate this prolonged early pressure. He is an experienced presence in this Richmond side. Dakota Barnathan, 31 years old and over 130 career appearances with Richmond Kickers. It's now year 5 for him as a member of the Kickers, as their longest tenured player on the roster. He's been synonymous with Richmond since joining the club ahead of the 2022 season, and they've played him anywhere from the heart of midfield to the heart of defense. Gianfi loses that tussle with Sean Vinberg. And the referees will overrule that decision. This is throw for Madison. You may notice Madison wearing their Utterly Wisconsin kits, which were launched in advance of Dairy Month in June. And oddly enough, in the 3 matches that they've worn these kits, unbeaten, 2 wins and a draw in that span, including a dominant victory over New York Cosmos in late June. Wore them in their last league match as well, the 1-0 victory at Spokane Velocity, which is a tough place to get a result given the travel and the quality of opposition you're up against. This Madison side, in many ways, has spurred their season along since the introduction of these kits. All of those results part of their 5-match unbeaten run. There's a cross in from Bulma that's cut out by Muji Murana. Whistle sounds against Kerfala Toure. He dons the captain's armband this evening. Derek Gebhardt, of course, their usual captain, missing the 3rd consecutive league match since his injury against New York Cosmos. A fixture in which he played a key role in the 2nd goal. It's always a blow when you lose someone who has a history of success in this Henny Derby fixture. Even without him, they managed to produce results with that small sample size of fixture sits. Here's Moore, loses it out of play on the far side. Well, fans turn to CBS on Saturday, July 18th for a USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. Last season's champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC goes head-to-head with 2025 Players' Shield winner Louisville City FC in a must-watch match of the summer. 2 elite clubs, 1 massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action on CBS at noon Eastern, July 18th. Madison strolling forward here through Castro. This ball forward to Munjoma, took a touch out of play for a goal kick. Early on, Richmond keeping a tight ship. And early in the season, they were one of the better defensive sides. In fact, by late May, ahead of their Chattanooga Red Wolves defeat, they had the league's best defensive record in terms of goals allowed, with just 7 goals allowed. But since then, it has been a real struggle of late. This team conceding 5 goals in that brutal defeat at the hands of Chattanooga Red Wolves. And ever since, the defensive woes have reared their head. 15 goals allowed and outscored 15-2 during this 7-match league winless run. This is a squad that, as Brian Ownby mentioned, has placed extensive emphasis on cutting out crosses and clearing crosses. It's been a major source of goals that opponents have scored over this stretch. There's Jackson Castro. Now Eddie Munjoma. Bulma forced wide. Carmichael puts it inside. A chance here for Madison. Took a nasty deflection. And out of play for another corner. Madison starting to twist the screws, and you see them probing in the wide areas. Getting Kanyane here from left wing back, pops inside. Gets on the end of that square ball, and if not for the deflection, that may have been circling on frame. It is another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick. And it is Getty Kanyane who once again stands over it. Did score an Olympico in mid-April at New York Cosmos, but that was from an in-swinging type situation. So if he were to take it, would anything but that. And they will wait on it because Jan Filion, the mainstay between the sticks in league play for Richmond, he's still prone on the pitch. It's been that welcome addition of experience and ability that Richmond has valued all year. The moment his status appears up in the air. If they intend to pivot, James Sneddon, someone with over 2 seasons of USL League One experience, is amongst the reserves. Get your first look at Matt Glazer. It is the 5th season for him. He's quickly become one of the longest tenured managers in the league. Someone who's guided Forward Madison back to success. This was a team that hadn't been to the playoffs since 2019 at the time of his hiring. Guided them back into the postseason in 2023, and it was back-to-back appearances before a down year in 2025. Meanwhile, his opposite number, Brian Ownby, has had a whirlwind of 10 months or so. Finished his professional career as a player at the end of 2025 with Lou City. Finished by winning his 2nd straight Players' Shield title, and then joined the Richmond staff as an assistant in January. Now thrust into the interim head coaching role in mid-June. Said when we spoke to him about that, he said, that's football, and I learned a lot under Darren Sawatsky. It's now my turn to hopefully make an impact on this bunch. Kenny Kanyane delivers this outswinger. Jan Filion punches away into the edge of the area. Now Ryan Carmichael back into the mix. Just headed wide by Stephen Enorgianfi. Jan Filion seems no worse for wear here. Comes out, punches away. Not the most convincing of clearances, but Owen O'Malley makes himself an obstacle, and then ultimately the ensuing header lacked the required accuracy or venom. As of now, Jan Filion still trying to soldier this out. Ilion has been booked for time wasting by our referee. That is the source of the sarcastic applause you hear from the flock end. Bolma. Shoved down by Owen O'Malley. And you wonder if our referee may have further action to take here. As of now, doesn't seem too intent on brandishing another yellow. Josh Bolma already asking early questions, though, of this kicker's back line. It's a Madison team that overhauled the squad in the offseason. Just one returning starter in the form of Derek Gebhardt. Now, Josh Bolma has been one of the standout additions amongst the group that has joined this club. Castro. There's a player down for Richmond. The referee waves play on for now. Canyane's cross. Cut out. And now they will come back to the down kicker on the pitch. It is Owen O'Malley, who's made himself a villain amongst the Madison faithful early on. And it's good that he seems no worse for wear after that. Well, fans, smart design, everyday comfort, fun to drive, and a price that makes sense at Zimbrick Volkswagen in Middleton. For those that are just joining us here from Madison, Wisconsin, we welcome you to Breese Stevens Field for the 20th edition of the Henny Derby, the league's most storied fixture on the USL League One calendar. Ford, Madison, and Richmond kickers meet for the first of 2 times this year. We mentioned it off the top last season. Madison claiming 2 of the 3 meetings, but maybe a measure of revenge amongst Matt Glazer and his staff's minds, because his side had a chance to qualify for the playoffs on decision day last year and fell by a 5-1 thrashing, the largest ever margin of victory in Henny Derby history. In the final day of the campaign, it cost them a postseason berth, as the offside flag was raised there against Richmond. Not a fixture in which Neil Soyford scored a brace to announce himself in the Henny Derby lore, but he is unavailable tonight given his injury troubles recently. Well, there's your look at JT Harms, one of the many new additions for Ford Madison this offseason, a 24-year-old who spent his debut campaign as a professional in the MLS Next Pro ranks. And this season, exceptional for Ford Madison, a save rate north of 70%, a trio of clean sheets to his name as well, and has played every minute throughout the league slate before the main goes between the sticks. Someone that Matt Glazer says has put forth a solid shift all year long, and while he hasn't been forced into many game-changing saves, he has just been a steadying force between the sticks in the wake of Baron Shipman's departure this offseason. Tarek Panholzer will take us into the hydration break. Well, given this stoppage, it gives us a chance to educate you more on the history of the Henny Derby, which has blossomed into one of the league's most exciting, organically spawned derbies. It began in 2019 in the league's inaugural season, and it's dubbed now as a celebration of American soccer culture and black soccer culture in particular. And it was started by 2 individuals, Elliot Barr of the River City Red Army and Kyle Carr, who's on the left of Featherstone Flamingos. And these two are very involved supporters with their respective clubs, and ahead of the first ever meeting between Richmond and Forward Madison in 2019, they got to talking smack on Twitter and decided to wager a bottle of Hennessy on the first ever fixture. And now you see the Henny Derby trophy, which has spawned since, but Richmond won that match, so Kyle Carr had to send Elliot Barr a bottle of Hennessy. And ahead of the third and final fixture is when the rivalry really took off. In fact, it was a rubber match between the two sides, and basically, Elliot Barr was asked by the Richmond Kickers front office to organize a heritage night, and he decided to organize a heritage night based around the celebration of black supporters in American soccer culture. And he brought in a number of local nonprofits to raise money for the local community. And he also reached out to a number of black-led supporters groups from across the country and told them to flock to Richmond for this third and final fixture. In addition, Kyle Carr was making the drive from Madison and went on a full road trip, bringing in fans from across the country to this touch point in Richmond, Virginia. And ultimately, that third and final fixture in 2019 blew the entire thing up. Fans from around the country came. Pablo Maurer of the Total Soccer Show took a photo that broke the internet, and since then, the momentum has continued. It's become the banner fixture on the USL League One calendar whenever these two teams met, and fans from across the nation continue to come to either Richmond or Madison, wherever the match is held, to support their local clubs and support black soccer culture in particular. It is a way to invite supporters of color, specifically black supporters, into the beautiful game, and Elliot Barr and Kyle Carr have done a wonderful job of that. Continue to raise money as well for local nonprofits in the area. Big credit to them for spawning one of the league's most must-see fixtures and one of the most must-see fixtures on the American soccer calendar. In addition to that, when you speak to both Elliot Barr and Kyle Carr, they say they want this fixture to become an HBCU-like homecoming vibe, where it is a celebration. And the unique thing about this derby is it isn't necessarily acrimonious. It's a rivalry where it's almost sibling-like, where everyone is coming together for a common purpose, but also there are bragging rights on the line. And even in a season like this for Richmond in particular, where they've been through their ups and downs, winning both Henny Derby fixtures makes everything that much brighter. We'll see if they can do that here tonight in round 1 of 2. As Owen O'Malley there is upended and having words with our official once again. We are back underway now in Madison. We still await the first real chance of note. Madison has been on the front foot, but Richmond has offered at least some bite on the break. As O'Malley snatches this back upfield. It's Rana who loses out. Spell of the ball here for Richmond, something they've lacked throughout the bulk of the opening 30 minutes. It is a Richmond squad that has been more defense-oriented this year. They opened the season in a classic 4-back defensive structure where they threw numbers behind the ball and just grounded out results in the early stages of the campaign. But since Brian Ownby's taken over, he says they've also pivoted to a 3-4-3 with the intent of possessing it a touch more. So far tonight, they haven't had much success there. Here's Bulma cutting to the byline. His cross is claimed assertively by Jan Filion. Moore, Charlotte native. It's Darwin Espinal, who's still looking to grow into this. His first start since the later stages of June. Barnathan arcs this down the line. Mujib Murana does catch up to it. Plays it across, but it is routine for JT Harms. Talking to Brian Ownby, he mentioned how the wingbacks in particular are crucial for his system, especially Mujib Murana, a very athletic presence who can get up and down quickly, and he raved about his performance Saturday. They come from behind victory over Greenville Triumph. Said that he dealt with the physical requirements of that role very well. Starting to see him adventure forward. So Joma plays this wide. Carmichael cuts inside. Effort took a deflection and out for another corner for Madison. Beginning to see the likes of Carmichael and Bowman in particular pick out those pockets in the penalty area. And it is another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick to follow. Another look at this chance. Kanyane at the center of it. It's the wingbacks linking. And then you see Carmichael just cut inside on Daniel Moore. And if not for the intervention of Moore, that's likely soaring on frame. So another corner for Kenny Kanyane and company, their third of the night. In-swinger. It's tight on Filione. Loose and tapped home. Forward Madison on a set piece, and Kerfala Toure on the score sheet. 1-0. Second goal of the season for Kerfala Toure, and he just puts himself in the right place at the right time on the set piece. Filione gambles and does not get the ball, and ultimately Sam Layton's put in a very difficult spot here. Filione misses out, it's just knocked about, and Kerfala Toure gets just enough of a touch to take it over the line. Madison with the lead in the Henny Derby. Well, it is an unlikely source in Kerfala Toure, the center back, but he puts himself in a dangerous spot, and the 25-year-old on his 5th start of the season opens the scoring. Joined the Mingos in January after finishing 4 seasons of his college career at Florida Atlantic University, and has established himself as a fixture in Turner Humphrey's absence. And he's done a good job in the heart of defense. Despite opening the year amongst the substitutes, he's become a critical piece of this back 3, back 5 setup for Matt Glazer. And now starting to get more and more reward on the score sheet. Scored against Boise on June 13th, and a month later opens the scoring in the Henny Derby. Big moment for Kerfala Toure and a big moment for Madison, a squad that out of open play was starting to find real pockets of space in the Richmond penalty area. And off of the ensuing set piece from Ryan Carmichael's effort, Kerfala Toure is first to the loose change. It's a deserved advantage for a Madison side that has been the aggressor. This is turned over to Tarek Panholzer, who's looking at a plot twist. He's dispossessed. Bulma. Chance to counter now for Madison, and Ryan Carmichael strolling forward with plenty in support. Carmichael crossing, evades everyone in the utterly Wisconsin kits. The finest of deliveries there from Ryan Carmichael. Of course, this Richmond side is one that has fallen behind a number of times this season. That is not a stat Kickers fans will be thrilled with. The 8 previous times they've conceded first, they've suffered defeat, have not rescued a single point from a losing position all season. So now they must do something they've not done all year if they hope to get a result in this first of 2 Henny Derby fixtures. When Joma is tapped wide towards Castro, Sean Vinberg breaks it up. Espinal. Moves that forward to Kirkland, but he can't corral it. Fans, that goal was brought to you by Lexus. Second goal of the season for Kerfala Toure, the difference-making moment as things stand. Kanyane. There's Bulma in the pocket again, and Kanyane racing the other way. Deflected cross. Leighton out of danger for now. Only as far as McCamey. Ramon Torres leads this team with 4 league assists and had another in the Prince Tires USL Cup victory Saturday. Had a 4-3 thriller against Union Omaha. Aspinall clips it towards Josh Kirkland, who does win the foot race with Toure. Moore just about keeps it in play. When Joma out of danger. Castro. And there may be a chance to break now for Madison. Filione well off his line and heads away. You have to wonder what the response will be from Brian Ownby's squad, because now they have to chase it. They have to send more numbers at the problem as this wears on, and you'd fancy the likes of Mujib Murana and Daniel Moore to get more involved going forward. Fans, Bayer Insurance is a proud sponsor of Forward Madison FC, and it's based in Madison and has provided protection and peace of mind to businesses and individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin since 1928. Mujib Murana is now down for Richmond. He's been a critical piece in this 3-back approach under Brian Ownby. He's played in the USL Championship in the past, spent last season without a club, but was a key fixture for Birmingham Legion and Miami FC the year prior. At 25 years old, a valued piece of this kicker squad. He was one of the players that Darren Sawatsky, who was of course then the sporting director, brought in to add experience and quality. Last year they were a little too youth-oriented, and as a result they've tried to bring in players who have experienced USL Championship or the higher levels of the professional game to complement some of the younger lads in the side. The issue has been had a full complement of healthy players for quite some time. Espinal and Soyford, of course, began the year outside the squad, and now Soyford out once again. You just have to wonder that if Richmond can get everyone back and fully fit and firing, what this squad could look like come October. Murana. Knocks clear. Second ball falls for Aspinall. Sprayed it forward to Kirkland, but the offside flag is up. That's a decision that Kirkland appears perplexed by. It's year 3 for Josh Kirkland in Richmond kicker colors. Last season, the best of his young career with 8 goals across all competitions. Never quite had the fortune of making the impact he desired against Madison a year ago, but coaches rave about his work rate and his ability to run in behind, and when he gets a chance, he usually takes it. He's one of their more fearsome threats in front of goal. The issue tonight has been he's been left on an island. Very little space to operate and very few touches in positions of note. That is a credit to Madison's press and the way they've crowded Richmond's attackers out of the match. Castro. Carmichael. Wide for Eddie Munjoma. Into At the business end of this first half, Madison 1-0 to the good as Toure looks in behind for Stephen Enorgiamfi, and a corner will follow. So it is yet another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick for forward Madison. It is their fourth of the match. Richmond has yet to procure a set piece of note. That is one of the many stats that reveal how the run of play has gone in the opening 35 minutes plus. It is Ramon Torres who will do the honors here. In swinger, this time Filion collects with no trouble. Ryan Carmichael. First 2 seasons of his career at MLS Next Pro, really made a name for himself at Hofstra, where he burst onto the scene in 2023. At Inter Miami too, the following year in MLS Next Pro, he also was quite impactful. Maybe didn't quite live up to that level of production at Atlanta United 2 a season ago, but you're starting to see why Matt Glazer wanted him so much. In fact, Matt Glazer said Ryan Carmichael was one of the first phone calls he made when rebuilding this squad in the wintertime. He said he felt his IQ and his ability to run in behind and finish would suit his bunch well, and so far through the first 4 months of the year, he's been proven right. Castro, and this is Stephen Enorgiamfi, who glides ahead. Now cuts it back to Castro. Effort deflected. And it is yet another corner. The 5th of the night now for Madison. It is another opportunity for Kenny Kanyane. Native of Johannesburg, South Africa, who also joined from MLS Next Pro in January. Former South African Youth International as well. We'll take this right in front of the flock. Yellow card was shown to Dakota Barnathan as well. Second Richmond player in the book already. In swinger from Kanyane. Away by O'Malley. As far as Jackson Castro. Munjoma back into the mix. Bulma has made a menace of himself early on and curls this goalward. There's a player down in Toure in the box. The referee unmoved though, and a chance to break now for Richmond. It just evades Tarek Panholzer. And another yellow showed. It appears to be to Sean Vinberg. I think that Brian Ownby will be displeased by the nature of which these yellow cards have transpired. All 3 of his players that have been booked have been cautioned for non-challenge related reasons. For Filion, it was time wasting, and it appears Vinberg and Barnathan have been from dissent. And especially for these 2 outfield players, in Vinberg and Barnathan, a critical part of how you win the ball back and defend. They'll have to walk the tightrope for a reason that the coaching staff will feel was totally in their control. Fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Business end of this first half, still 1-0 to Madison, courtesy of Kerfala Toure in the 20th ever Henny Derby. Right now, Madison on their way to increasing their series advantage. There's a cross in. Moves towards Josh Kirkland and away, at least as far as Daniel Moore. That was cut out by Carmichael, who does his defensive duties well. Vinberg. Richmond looking to fight back before halftime. Here's Mujib Murana. Kirkland does want to throw this time. Final minute of the initial 45. Just to clarify, Sean Vinberg was not booked. Owen O'Malley was. Either way, the heart of midfield now for Richmond. Both walking that tightrope, in addition to their goalkeeper, Jan Filione. So O'Malley, Barnathan, and Filione all on yellow cards for the remainder of this one. There's Beckett Howell, the Academy product. It's given away this time, and here's Munjoma. It is now time for our Just Coffee stoppage time. The fourth official has indicated it will be 4 minutes that separate us between the break. Cross in from Castro now. Was inviting, but right at Filione. Bulma pressuring assertively. Barnathan does well. Is there a late plot twist before the half, or will Madison cruise in intermission in control? Moore was looking to switch the play, but no one to switch it to.
Officials have indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. Stoppage time is presented by Ho Chunk Gaming.
Kanyane.
Scan the QR code on the video board and visit forwardmadisonfc.com/winning-time for your chance to win.
It is a Madison squad that has overperformed their XG all year long, but here tonight, actually underperforming it just slightly. A goal to their name, their XG at 1.19. Richmond, meanwhile, the lowest XG in the league, and they have not added much to it, just 0.06 throughout this first half. Kanyane. Muscled off it by Panholzer, and now O'Malley. Kanyane does his defensive duties well there. Now tugged down by Tarek Panholzer. That's a surefire yellow card, and that's another Richmond kicker in the book. Well, this one was pretty textbook. Panholzer comes from behind, stops a promising break, and tugs the shirt. It is the big three of yellow card offenses, and unsurprisingly, he is booked. Well, fans, it is winning time, presented by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit forwardmadisonfc.com/winning-time for your chance to win your favorite Forward Madison FC kit, $100 in rewards play and $50 in food and beverage credit, redeemable at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. One lucky winner will be chosen on Monday after tonight's match. We are midway through our stoppage time, and Madison hunting a level of insurance before the break. Here's Castro. Ryan Carmichael cuts it inside for Munjoma, who forces a quality save out of Filione. And another corner on the way. And that a glaring opportunity to double the lead. Munjoma nearly stuck it in the bottom right. Another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick. This likely Madison's final sojourn forward of the first half. Scored off of their last set piece. Kanyane arcs it in. Filion off his line again, lost out. The follow-up effort from afar. Takes another touch out of play. And we will run it right back. Another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick. This Richmond back line has been heavily occupied on set pieces throughout the first half. Jan Filion has been tested with regularity. Kanyane with one final delivery of the first half. Another in-swinger, this one with more velocity and headed home again. And it is that man again. A first half brace for Kerfala Toure, and it's 2-0. Kerfala Toure has tripled his season goal tally in one half of action. The first, he just touches home off a corner. The second, a towering header in which he nods it beyond Jan Filion. And the Canadian is having the first half of his ultimate dreams. 2-0 Mingos. That's halftime. And Kerfala Toure, the latest Henny Derby hero in Madison. A first half brace from set pieces, and the Mingos lead 2-0 at intermission. It was a controlled performance for Forward Madison in the opening 45 minutes of the Henny Derby, and Kerfala Toure has made a name for himself. Goals on 30 minutes, and 45 plus 4 make the difference, and it's left Richmond reeling as we head into halftime. Our score at intermission in Madtown is Forward Madison 2, Richmond Kickers 0, and Kerfala Toure, the center back, responsible for both tallies in front of the flock. We'll step aside briefly here for Free Stevens Field. When we return, a look around USL League One and a look back at a thrilling first half.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself.
We welcome you back to Madison, where halftime is presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative, and the home fans at Free Stevens Field will be thrilled with this first half of Henny Derby action in 2026. A 2-0 advantage for Forward Madison, and now it's time to get a look at our goal of the week and save of the week for Week 18 in League One. goes for goal, and it's in! It is brilliant from Baquero, and it's all square in Charlotte.
John Baquero is no stranger to superb strikes. He squares up the free kick, and watch the goalkeeper. He lets his wall do the work. He isn't cheating at all, gets full extension, but Baquero's strike opposite of the wall is struck off the post and in. It's set piece mastery from Baquero for your select USL League One goal of the week.
Of home. Bowen inward. Medina heads it down, pushed out by Smith. Back-to-back corners for Corpus Christi. Two USL clubs decorated with history and hardware. Last year, Louisville City raised the Player Shield as the best team during the season. But the Pittsburgh Riverhounds raised the USL Championship trophy for winning it all.
USL Championship winners!
Two title contenders collide in the Steel City, Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Louisville City. Saturday, July 18th at noon Eastern on CBS.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay que ser revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol y estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Súbete, llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chofer, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos!
This is your moment.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
Welcome back to Madison. We're at halftime in the first edition of the Henny Derby for 2026. Forward Madison leads 2-0 in front of their home fans. And now it's time to take a look ahead at the upcoming schedules. Forward Madison FC's upcoming schedule is brought to you by Dairyland Insurance. A trio of big fixtures on the docket, including next weekend against FC Naples on Golazzo, before Key Tussles against Chattanooga and Westchester, all as part of this big run of fixtures at home after opening the season on the road. On the opposite end of things, for their Henny Derby foes in Richmond, if they fall here, a number of matches that may feel like must-win fixtures. They host Spokane on Saturday before traveling to Charlotte and taking on AV Alta, all three of those times Central Time, 6 p.m. Central. And in terms of our out-of-town scores, which are presented by DCRA, a number of key matches in the USL League One calendar going on right now. Chattanooga, a narrow 1-0 advantage over surging AV Alta. Meanwhile, one Knoxville toppling Fort Wayne by a 2-1 scoreline. Don't look now, but one Knoxville currently tops the USL League One table. That a big development as the defending champions reassert themselves in title contention. Well, that is your look around USL League One. It is Time to take one further look at the upcoming schedule. There are a number of key matches to keep your eye on, including Boise hosting Portland Hearts of Pine on the CBS Sports Network on Friday night, and then 3 big fixtures at the weekend, including Charlotte hosting Chattanooga. Meanwhile, Richmond, as we mentioned, taking on Spokane. And later on Saturday as well, on the Golazo Network, Fort Wayne hosts Greenville Triumph. Meanwhile, Union Omaha looks to reclaim top spot in League One against struggling Westchester. Well, we are just about set for the start of the second half. We will step aside briefly here from Breese Stevens Field. When we return, a look back at a dominant first half for the Mingos. They lead at halftime of the Henny Derby. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
It is halftime in League One. We'll get you back out to your match shortly. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines. The final group stage of the Prinks Tires USL Cup was a big day for League One. A pair of clubs advanced to the quarterfinal knockout stage. Spokane Velocity scored a 3-1 victory over the Oakland Roots of the USL Championship, then got the boost it needed from AC Boise, defeating Sacramento Republic to advance as the Group 1 winner. Spokane finished group play with 3 straight wins in regulation. And Charlotte Independence stunned Charleston Battery of the championship, winning a penalty kick shootout after a 2-2 draw. Charlotte wins Group 6, and that match extended its unbeaten streak to 14. The USL Cup quarterfinals will take place on Wednesday, August 12th. Tampa Bay hosts Louisville City. Charlotte will host Hartford Athletic. Spokane welcomes Colorado Springs, and San Antonio will host Miami FC. Upcoming national spotlight games, the big one in the championship this Saturday on CBS. Pittsburgh Riverhounds hosting Louisville City at noon Eastern. Next Wednesday, Oakland Roots at Lexington SC on CBS Sports Net and 2DN. Then next Saturday, Detroit City hosts Las Vegas Lights on ESPN2. San Antonio hosts Indy 11 on the 31st on CBS Sports Net. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
TrueStage aspires to be the most trusted insurance and financial services provider. For more than 90 years, our work has been guided by the philosophy of people helping people. Today, we help protect more than 39 million customers through every stage of their financial lives. Our suite of protection solutions is designed to grow over the long term, and we're continually evolving to serve our partners and their customers better. Together, we can create more access, more stability, and more confidence. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
Welcome back to Madison, where it is Bark at the Park night, and I'm sure everyone, humans and canines included, supporting Forward Madison are enjoying the performance they've witnessed from their Mingos so far. 2-0 advantage in the first Henny Derby fixture of the season. It's now time to get a look at the first Valley in one fell swoop. And when you look at our halftime stats, which are presented by Rhyme, they do tell the full story. Forward Madison dominant, an 11-1 shot advantage, 4-0 in terms of shot on goal. A side in Madison that is taking a step back this year possession-wise with still 61% of the ball. And right now, Richmond, it just feels like they can't work their way into this. They have plenty of work to do if they are to turn the tide and get a result. Otherwise, they may be in line for a measure of revenge after toppling the Mingos on decision day back in October. Just about ready to get everything back underway from Bree Stevens Field. Brian Ownby's men with plenty of work to do here in Madtown. If they can't overcome a multi-goal deficit, they will suffer an 11th defeat of 20 fixtures in Henny Derby history and throw away a big chance to win the season series. Meanwhile, Madison on their way to seeing this out and claiming yet another crucial 3 points to move up the USL League One table. As things stand, they occupy 4th place in the live table. That would be enough for a home playoff match if the season ended today. Well, there have been 2 changes now for Richmond at halftime. It is a pair of alterations. Andrew Richmond, the 18-year-old, is into the action for Owen O'Malley. Meanwhile, in addition to that, it is Hayden Anderson who enters the action as well. So Anderson and Richmond on. We'll get you the 2 they are in place of shortly after the restart. So Richmond has a major hill to climb in Madison tonight if they are to avoid Henny Derby defeat. Madison with 45 minutes to see this out and claim yet another victory in the league's banner rivalry. It will be Madison now from left to right on your screen, getting us back underway. Richmond from right to left. We just await our referee signal to kick off the final half of action in Madtown. We are back underway. Madison hoping to see this out and claim yet another victory in league play. Richmond hoping to claw back a result from the jaws of defeat. Sam Goldfarb taking you the remainder of the way here at Bree Stevens Field. We thank you for joining us as Josh Bulma already surges forward for the Mingos and is fouled just outside the area. It is a perfect start to the second half for Madison, and a yellow card has been brandished as well. So a familiar theme. Richmond booked 4 times in the first half, and now a 5th booking shortly after the restart. Another look here. Bulma just pushed down. It is a breakup of a promising attack, and it is the substitute Anderson who literally just entered, picking up the yellow card with his first involvement. So Anderson, the latest Richmond kicker in the book. It is now 4 active players on the pitch with a yellow card. 5 players have been booked for the visitors. Josh Bulma and Gedi Kanyane both stand over this set piece for the Mingos. They favor the right boot of Bulma. Either way, you have to get this up and down from a reasonably tight angle. It is Bulma who takes, and it was never on its way back down. So the 2 changes at halftime. Andrew Richmond, the 18-year-old, and Hayden Anderson in for Muji Murana and Owen O'Malley. Both those changes are brought to you by Festival Foods, the first 2 of the night. Here is Kirkland. Espinal struggled to exert his influence in the first half. Richmond. Espinal on to Daniel Moore. Espinal, mix, Kerfala Toure, the hero of the first half away. Bulma looks the other direction as Anor Giamfi races forward. Sean Vinberg wins that by a footstep.
Halftime substitution for Richmond kickers. On for number 4, Samuel Layton. Number 3, Hayden Anderson. Number 3.
When that first half it was pretty clear Madison was the dominant side. We showed you all of the ins and outs numbers-wise to support it. The 11-1 shots advantage, not to mention, of course, being 2-0 to the good and creating so many corners without conceding one of their own. But when you look at the XG as well, it is actually glaring. Forward Madison's XG at the moment is quite high, 1.89. Richmond Kickers is just 0.06. That is one of the biggest disparities in XG and a half that we've probably seen all year, and it speaks to the level of performance that Matt Glazer's men have demonstrated to boss this against Brian Ownby's side, which came in hoping to have a share of possession and have opportunities on the break, and neither have materialized.
Kickers in the 46th minute. Number 3, Hayden Anderson. Number 3.
Bolma. Ryan Carmichael, he was offside. For those that missed that first half, we welcome you into Breese-Stevens Field on Henny Derby night. It has been an eventful one so far. Kerfala Toure, a pair of goals off corners. The 30th and 45+4. First, unconvincing toe poke in after Jan Filion came to claim and failed to collect. The second, a towering header beyond the reach of Filion. Kerfala Toure, who entered the night with just one professional goal to his name with 3 tallies. Josh Kirkland now, as well as Tarek Panholzer in on that, the latter of which is offside. Still have yet to see Tarek Panholzer exert his desired influence, but he's another new addition that is very talented. A trio of tallies to his name, one of the more prolific players on this Richmond squad, and joining the club after 1 year in the German 4th tier. He's best known, though, for his spell with Marshall, where he reached the national championship game as a senior in 2024, falling to Vermont, a golden goal in one of the more memorable national championship games to date. As Bolma twists and turns and pings in a cross that just evades Ryan Carmichael. There's a player down for Richmond after the fact here. As Beckett Howell, the 21-year-old, is gingerly back to his feet. Josh Bolma played in a really appetizing cross, this right into the corner of uncertainty. You see him just untangle himself from Hayden Anderson, cut back in, and then just weave a web of lies before playing it right into the mix. Carmichael is not far away from that as you get your look at the instant replays, which are brought to you by Dairyland Insurance. It's a busy first half for that man, Jan Filion. Pair of stops to his name to extend his USL League One lead. Also under fire, especially on corners. Maybe made a decision he'd like to have back on the opening goal. On the second goal, not much you could do, though. Just a well-placed header from Toure. This team has been unable to play through this relentless Madison pressure. As Kanyane picks out Carmichael here. Winjoma, a deflected effort, could have gone anywhere and mercifully sails over. Jan Filion is incensed at the moment.
Corner kick.
Is yet another corner for Forward Madison. We've already seen what they can do on set pieces.
Canopy Wealth
It's now the 8th corner of the match. Corners tonight presented by Canopy Wealth Management, which is donating $50 to Forward Madison FC's mini pitch fundraising project. For each home corner kick taken by FMFC. Ramon Torres this time over it for the Minkos. Torres within swing, tried to pick out the far corner and he didn't miss by much. Well, fans, this message is brought to you by TrueStage. TrueStage offers insurance and financial services built to support life's many stages. Whether it's protecting today, planning for tomorrow, or planning for what's ahead, TrueStage helps people move forward with confidence. Learn more about insurance and financial solutions designed for real life at TrueStage.com. It's been a one-sided Henny derby to date. Touré's brace making the difference. A pair of goals on set pieces for a Madison side that has been unrelenting at the moment. Constant pressure. Richmond has been unable to string together many combinations of note, and I know these team talk at halftime had to be more animated. And would have hoped it would have required pre-match. This is Howell. Moore. Dancing inside, and has it tapped away. Joma for Madison. It's upended by Howell. The ball was won cleanly though. Espinal. Shy by having a pop from long range, but instead overhits it for Panholzer. One of Darwin Espinal's finest moments in a Richmond shirt. Carmichael. Richmond loses out here. Moore. This is Bolma, one of the brighter performers in the first half for Madison. Just beyond Roman Torres' reach, but he was caught late by Espinal. And another free kick for Madison. Starting to become a common theme for the Mingos here. It's certainly a late challenge. The referee does well to play advantage here. It's actually Beckett Howell who comes in late. Just catches Bolma right before that ball made its way towards Torres. He's won a free kick the hard way for the Mingos. Kenny Kanyane and Roman Torres, two in the midst. For a side that's already scored twice off of set pieces. This is the last thing Kickers fans want to see. Torres pings it to the back stick. Away by Sam Layton. Long throw from Torres. DeLong goes back out to Torres. Now the follow-up cross into the mix and just headed wide. And who else was lingering but Kerfala Toure, who had his eyes set on a hat trick. Another look at this ball in. It's menacing and it is dipping. It wasn't Toure who got his head to it, but he was right there. Anytime there's a set piece, you'd fancy him to be in and around it. It's Kirkland. It's offside for Richmond. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Just shy of the hour mark here in Madison, Wisconsin. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action in the first of two scheduled Henny Derby fixtures this season. It is Madison 2-0 to the good, courtesy of Kerfala Toure's brace off corner kicks. A tap in and a towering header making the difference. As now Ryan Carmichael races after this and the flag stays down. Carmichael to the byline, crosses it in, ran all the way across the face, but no one there in the utterly Wisconsin kits to greet it. Another look at this on the Dairyland Instant Replay. Carmichael carves out some space, gets away from Beckett Howell. There's just no one there running in on the 6-yard box. Ultimately, Richmond can clear their lines and spare their blushes. Howell. It's a Richmond squad that has struggled in front of goal. Held scoreless in 3 of their last 4 league matches. As we mentioned, a league low, 12 goals entering the season. It's still overperforming their XG, but only just. Aspinall, this is turned over. Torres, the magic eraser. Plenty of space the other way. Bolma charging ahead. Josh Bolma looking to wrap it up for Madison. Down in the penalty area. Appeals for a penalty waved away. It did look like that was won rather cleanly. Aspinall. Torres once again intervening. Has plenty of support. Plays it forward to Ryan Carmichael, who chips the goalkeeper and may have just wrapped it up on the hour mark. 3-0 Madison, and Ryan Carmichael's hot streak continues. Ryan Carmichael is a man in flying form at the moment, and this is a finish befitting of his flying form. Just creates an angle, rounds Filione, and clips it right over him. There is no chance for the goalkeeper. There's no opportunity to clear it, and it is 4 league goals for Ryan Carmichael, who may have just wrapped up the first Henny Derby for the Mingos. Ryan Carmichael, goal contributions now in 5 of his last 6 matches across all competitions. A brace in the thrilling victory over Omaha at the weekend. And he opens his account for the night to make it 3-0. That goal presented by Lexus. It is 3-0 to the Mingos. Ryan Carmichael joining Forward Madison after 2 seasons in MLS Next Pro. And Richmond has made yet another change. Austin Amer in for Darwin Aspinall. It was not the most influential day for Aspinall, who's made plenty of impact in his season and a half with the Kickers. But here tonight, Madison kept him bottled up. Change presented by Festival Foods. Amer on, Aspinall off. And Ryan Carmichael may have just put the first Henny Derby fixture of the season to bed. Right now, they're flirting with the largest margin of victory in Henny Derby history. Remember, that was 5-1 to Richmond on decision day last year. Ryan Carmichael, Glazer has spoken about his ability to play multiple positions, his finishing ability, and his high IQ, his willingness to run in behind, and all of that on display on the goal that may have just sealed it. Free kick here for Richmond. They are to carve out a pathway back into this. Has to start now. Amer and Richmond in the vicinity. Amer arms it goalward. They catch JT Harms out, awkwardly parried away. Amer again. This time crosses it. Colin McCammy's right there. And now a chance for Madison to play out. Anor Giamfi. It's a great tackle there for Panholzer, who had to win it on a yellow. Anor Giamfi tracking back. Was penalized by our referee. And shown a yellow card. She seems less than thrilled by. Giamfi does well to not give up on the play here. Does come from behind, and due to the fact that he stopped a promising break, he was shown the yellow card. I think his argument is he got enough of the ball. Either way, first Madison player in the book, and it comes beyond the hour mark. Amer rolls it to the back post, headed goalward, just beyond that left post. Well, I think the fans in the flock end are enjoying this. Forward Madison Flamingo plush doll there. Must be said, Forward Madison probably produces the best merch in the league, be it kits and knickknacks and other things. Of course, these Utterly Wisconsin kits part of that, as Carmichael squares it for Anor Giamfi. It is a Henny Derby throttling. Stephen Anor Giamfi on the score sheet. Forward Madison 4-0 to the good. Five on the season for Stephen Anor Giamfi. 4 on the night in the first Henny Derby of the season for Forward Madison. And Ryan Carmichael here plays it perfectly into the path of Anor Giamfi, who finishes with style, with the right foot, the outside of his boot as well. Villion gets a piece, but it's not enough. And Forward Madison are putting Richmond to the sword here. Anor Giamfi, the 23-year-old who joined the club after spending his first 2 seasons in the Houston Dynamo organization, joining Madison with the hopes of revitalizing his career. And he has enjoyed a major bounce-back campaign in 2026. It is a goal presented by Lexus to make it 4-0. And right now, Madison has matched the largest margin of victory in Henny Derby history. It is the most goals they've scored in a Henny Derby. It is a night that will live in permanent lore in Forward Madison history. Two changes happening after the goal as well. Ryan Carmichael and Josh Bulma exiting for A.J. Edwards, who is finally back and playing a big role off the bench, and Bibi Karamoko, who scored the winner in that Prince Cup finale on Saturday. Both changes presented by Festival Foods. As Richmond has won a corner. That is the kicker's first corner kick of the match, and it comes on 67 minutes. Austin Amer will take it. It's been the go-to on set pieces when he features. This without swing. Moved away by Toure, and Panholzer's follow-up effort amongst the gleeful flock. Barring one of the largest collapses in USL League One history, Forward Madison will cruise to another 3 points in league play. That would make it 5 victories in the last 6 across all comps, and they're hunting more carnage. Karamoko cuts inside on his left. Bibi Karamoko's effort deflected away. Amer struggling to clear. Finally fouled by Karamoko. Don't tell the Forward Madison players that this is an entirely new group. Yes, many of these players did not experience the scars of that 5-1 defeat on the final day of the season. But they're playing like they've got revenge etched on their minds, and I'm sure the Madison faithful appreciate that as we head into a hydration break. 4-0 to Forward Madison. It was 2 at halftime. Ryan Carmichael and Stephen Enorgianfi have tacked on further damage. It is a night that Forward Madison fans will celebrate for plenty of time following this. A Henny Derby demolition is what writes the headlines as we speak. Matt Glazer's squad producing one of its most prolific nights in front of goal. In fact, it is their best night in front of goal in league play. While Richmond, Ryan Ownby's side, just hoping for a measure of consolation, a measure of honor and pride before this comes to a conclusion, because simply put, going forward, they have not been good enough. And I think when Brian Ownby is asked about that post-match, he will say something to that effect. The squad defensively picked apart on set pieces and counterattacks. Attacking-wise, nearly enough cutting edge. When you look at Henny Derby history, it has always been a closely contested, cagey affair. This is already Madison's best output in front of goal in the Henny Derby. The best output ever is 5 goals the last time these two teams met. And it appears Richmond readying more changes. Landon Johnson, the 19-year-old, is getting set to enter for the Kickers. Josh Kirkland will vacate. That change presented by Festival Foods. It is Johnson in, Kirkland out. As Richmond hopes for something to cheer about in these final 20 minutes. They have been subjected to a Minko's buzzsaw. As of now, this result good enough to carry Madison into the top 4 of the USL League One table. When you compare this to last season, a year in which Madison struggled to score in the final third and struggled to put results together and fell just shy of the playoffs for the first time in 3 years' time. It is night and day, a squad that has been fully overhauled, just one returning starter, and that is their all-time leading goal scorer, Derek Gebhardt. And yet they look like a team that's been playing together for years at the moment. Inside the final 20 minutes now, and for those joining us here in Madison, you have missed a dominant display from the Flamingos. 4 goals, 3 different goal scorers. A Crefella Toure brace, and then tallies after the restart from Ryan Carmichael and Stephen Enorgianfi, separated by 5 minutes, make the difference on a night where Forward Madison has produced one of its performances of the season. A side that opened the year on the road was sputtering in the final third, but since returning home in late May, they have put forth a masterclass in front of goal. It is now 19 goals in the last 6 games. It's broken up by McCamey. It's now 18 goals in the last 6 for Madison. A 5th would make it 19. Richmond is looking for Daniel Moore. Not out of danger, and at this point, Forward Madison seems content to rest on what it's produced. Can't fault them. Exerted consistent energy on a sweltering evening in Wisconsin's capital city. They have been comprehensive so far. That's clever. And space to break in behind again for Madison. Enorgianfi slips in. His teammate, a chance for Madison. Karamoko still chasing after it. Finally away. before Munjoma can lash a follow-up effort into the mix. Sam Layton goes down and the whistle sounds. Well, it's an Orgiamfi at the center of everything, scoring the last goal and nearly supplying a fifth here. See this ball come perfectly into his path, and then he just arcs it forward. It's a real chance for BB Karamoko to tack on a fifth, if not for the deflection. Well, fans can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Richmond is preparing yet another change. Will be Matt Bolduc, who's back with the Kickers on a 25-day contract, warming up. We're hearing word that Dakota Barnathan will exit in a matter of moments. That's transpiring as we speak. So Bolduc, who is back with the Kickers for his third stint with the club, now on a 25-day contract, replacing the longtime midfielder Dakota Barnathan. Change presented by Festival Foods. Bolduc is a veteran of the Richmond ranks, spent plenty of time earlier in the decade as that cross was just headed wide by an Orgiamfi.
Number 32.
It's now time for us to let you know that smart design, everyday comfort, fun to drive at a price that makes sense. It's Zimbrick Volkswagen in Middleton. As we mentioned, Matt Bolduc has been with Richmond before, a native of Richmond, Virginia, who's one of just 15 players to feature 100 or more times for the Blues. A prominent role for Richmond between 2017 and 2022 before departing the club. Did return for the 2025 season with the Kickers before spending an earlier portion of this year on a 25-day with Sarasota Paradise and former Richmond assistant Mika Ilavara back with the Kickers as he looks to secure a season-long deal. Castro, that deflected out for another Madison corner. It's another Canopy Wealth Management corner kick. It is now the 9th of the night for the Mingos.
Forward Madison. All corner kicks.
And you would be a fool to not look out for number 33 in the utterly Wisconsin kits. Because Kerfala Toure has already scored twice from these scenarios. Kenny Kanyane, the go-to on in-swinging situations this evening. Into the back post and right at Filion this time. No chance for Toure on this occasion. Torres. He's hardly put a foot wrong in midfield this evening. Amer. Looking long again. Panholzer racing in behind. This is the foot race with McCamey there. Let's keep it in play, but then loses out to Panholzer. So looking for an avenue to the byline. Cross deflected. Bolduc has a hit. Comes off of the defender. No trouble in the end. Castro. And here is Kanyane with acres of green grass ahead. Karamoko. Edwards pandemic at the moment for Madison. They continue to look the likelier, even 4-0 up. Munchoma. First time ball into the wide area, a cross in. Leeds there. Now back into the mix for Karamoko. Right at Filion though. Well, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Pitch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Madison is preparing a double change. Jelani Forbes and Jalen Shannon are getting set to enter. Forbes getting set to make his third appearance with the club since joining on June 30th. So here's the change. Is Forbes and Shannon in? And it is a loud applause for Kenny Kanyane, who played a key part in both goals, delivering from corners. He's replaced by Forbes in that left wing back spot, which is Forbes' preferred position. Kevin Carmichael exits for Jalen Shannon in a like-for-like swap. Both those changes are presented by Festival Foods. Jelani Forbes is someone that Matt Glazer is very high on. 24-year-old who spent the first half of the year with Las Vegas Lights, but struggled to break into the regular 11 in the championship ranks, made just 5 appearances across all comps. It's been a more frequent feature in his short time with Madison, someone with the technique and quality to feature in League One. So the ability to play either as a proper fullback or an out-and-out wingback, either side of the field. Glazer has spoken about how he's been willing to play outside his natural position at right wingback for large spells since joining the club, despite being a natural left footer. Castro concedes the free kick there. It is Austin Amer, the lone man over this for Richmond. At this point, it is about securing some form of consolation and avoiding being blanked once again in league play. Amer drives it goalward, but that is right at JT Harms and rather routine as well. Fans, enter the Prince Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today as this ball comes in. And it is another free kick as Karamoko is bundled over. Beckett Howell is the latest Richmond kicker in the book. There's been a bevy of bookings all night for Richmond. Howell is the latest to be cautioned. It's an appetizing ball forward. Karamoko wins that foot race. Howell ultimately wrong side commits the transgression. It's been an unfortunate theme of the night for Richmond. Unable to keep Madison from threatening. It is now the 6th yellow card to be issued to a Richmond player. So Castro and Roman Torres stand over this set piece. Would favor Torres' left foot if either chooses to go for goal. A little too much hand fighting for our referee's liking. Castro crosses it towards Edwards, who forces a save. The follow-up off the crossbar. Kerfala Toure had his sights set on a hat trick, and he was not far off. Edwards and Leighton exchanging pleasantries after the fact as well. It's a really good ball from Jackson Castro, and Edwards gets the wrong side of Leighton. It spews up perfectly for Toure, who just kisses it off the bar. And on another night, that's a hat trick and a 5-0 scoreline in favor of the Mingos.
Number 32, Matthew Bowler. Number 32.
Well, fans, turn to CBS on Saturday, July 18th for USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. Last season's champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC goes head-to-head with the 2025 Players' Shield winner, Louisville City FC, in a must-watch match of the summer. Two elite clubs, one massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action on CBS at noon Eastern on July 18th. All part of the expanded platform of the USL Championship and USL League One. It's great to see those two clubs getting the spotlight they deserve on Saturday. Johnson, a wrestling match for this, and is dispossessed. It's been a common storyline tonight. Richmond has left their forwards isolated. Neither Kirkland or Johnson able to link up with anyone behind them. Karamoko has that knocked away. Here he is again. Edwards looking for a way through, more disrupts. Snatched back though by A.J. Edwards, who is now penalized for that.
Forward fans, we want to thank you for attending tonight's game.
It's good to see A.J. Edwards back. He missed 9 straight matches with injury before returning in the late stages of the Spokane Velocity victory, a 1-0 triumph in Washington State. Someone who joined from Sacramento Republic in the USL Championship. 23 appearances as a super sub a year ago, and appeared poised to play a regular starting role prior to his absence. As that cross is deflected, it's not dealt with just yet. Torres onto it. Edwards with runners either side. Just about ushers it along. Castro into the wide areas. A cutback for Anor Giamfi, who skies it. But another real chance for Madison to tack on another. welcome you back to Madison, where we apologize for the technical difficulties. The Henny Derby has come to its conclusion, and it is a night to remember for the Mingos. Ford Madison wins by a dominant 4-0 scoreline in their first meeting of the year with Richmond Kickers. What a performance from the Kickers, or excuse me, from Madison. We'll step aside when we return to look back at how it unfolded.
TrueStage aspires to be the most trusted insurance and financial services provider. For more than 90 years, our work has been guided by the philosophy of people helping people. Today, we help protect more than 39 million customers through every stage of their financial lives. Our suite of protection solutions is designed to grow over the long term, and we're continually evolving to serve our partners and their customers better. Together, we can create more access, more stability, and more confidence. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
We welcome you back to Madison on a night that will be forever remembered by the Mingos faithful. Our full-time score presented by Rhyme in the Henny Derby is Madison 4, Richmond 0. And it is now time to honor our man of the match, who is presented by Bayer Insurance. It is Kerfala Toure, who scored a first-half brace to kickstart all of the action in the later stages of the first half and power the Mingos to this dominant. And our clean sheet tonight. Presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative, and what a performance it was for Madison. Their most goals in a league match since June of 2024, and Kerfala Toure got the party started on 30 minutes. Jan Filion comes to claim this, does not do so, and Toure just pokes it over the line to open the scoring. But that was not all he would contribute in this fixture, because on the stroke of halftime, he would provide our play of the match, brought to you by Dairyland Insurance, a towering header to double the lead off of a set piece. Deja vu from about 15 minutes prior. Kanyane on the in-swinging delivery, and Toure with the header to double the Madison lead, a lead the Mingos would not relinquish. In the second half, Madison continued to pile on the carnage. Ryan Carmichael would score his first Henny Derby goal, chips the goalkeeper Jan Filion to make it 3-0 on the hour mark and effectively wrap up the points. But that's not all for Madison, because 5 minutes later, Carmichael was amongst it again, this time slipping in Stephen Enorgiamfi after the long ball forward. He bypasses Beckett Howell here, a well-weighted ball to Enorgiamfi, who finishes in crafty fashion with the outside of his right boot. Filion can't keep it out, and that effectively sealed the points. There were some moments for Richmond late in the 81st minute. Our save of the match brought to you by the Johnson Financial Group to preserve the clean sheet for JT Harms. Didn't have much to do, but passed his few tests of the match, including that one on the shot from Austin Amer. And when you look at the full-time stats, they do tell the full story. Our full-time statistics are presented by Rhyme. Full-scale domination in the first Henny Derby meeting of the season for Ford Madison. A 22-5 shot advantage, not a singular recorded shot on goal for Richmond, and Madison doing all of it with 54% of the ball as well. That's a drop-off from their share in the first half. They were still the aggressor in the second. This is the performance of the season for Madison, and it is reflected on the stat sheet. Well, that is where we will leave things here from the capital city of Wisconsin, where Ford Madison produces hands down their best league performance of the season. They make it 5 wins in the last 6 across all comps and batter their Henny Darby foes by a 4-0 scoreline. For our terrific crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long, where Madison dominates.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.